Hi guys, welcome to Docklands again. And today I thought I'd talk to you about self-isolation. So it's day 5 here in Docklands, basically since we arrived from Jakarta. And it hasn't really been as easy as we thought it would be, or as, everyone thinks it's gonna be. It's also not, you know, that difficult if you just take a step back and think about what's going on. Hey Mike, kamusta na? Hey, who's this? Hey Neo, how are you? Oops, I cannot say that. Hey. So, what people don't realize is in Jakarta, my children and I were in isolation since the 9th of March. So we were on isolation for about a couple of weeks because that was when school decided they were gonna start homeschooling. So as early as the 9th of March. So here in Australia, they didn't really do the homeschooling thing. I mean, I don't know if any of the schools have started doing homeschooling at all. But in sorry, are you hearing me? I just realized I've got this thing here. Okay, let's do that. Hey Mark, how are you? Sorry, let me just fix this and then we can get started again. Alright, sorry, technical difficulties. So let's do that again. Anyway, so as I was saying earlier, talk about self-isolation because we have been on self-isolation literally for almost for 3 weeks already. But here in Australia, we've only been in self-isolation for about 5 days. Now, we started isolating ourselves in our home with my children from the 9th of March in Indonesia because kids were homeschooled by then. And I found that it was easier because I was in my own home. So when you're in your own home, you have the stuff, you're comfortable with your environment, you know where everything is, and you basically have everything that you need to survive self-isolation. So if you're going to plan to do a self-isolation in your own home, it's not a big deal. You've got your cutlery, your crockery, you can do anything, you can bake, you can exercise, you probably have your mats and things that you usually use anyway. So there's not going to be such a big disruption to your life because you're in your own home, you're in an environment that you're familiar with, you're in an environment that you're used to. Hey Nguyet, how are you? Hey Mark, how are you? So I found it was so much difficult coming here, and as I said, day 5. And why is it difficult? Well, day 2 was when they started back with Woolworths online ordering. Imagine if I was someone coming into a city where my family didn't live. So I'm lucky because here in Melbourne, I've got my daughter and I've got my in-laws living here. So the day before we arrived, they actually came into our apartment, put some food and snacks in our apartment. That being said, when we arrived, we saw what we needed and what we wanted, and we realized we couldn't actually order them, so we were dependent on what was sent to us. And luckily, Woolworths started online delivery on our second day, but that didn't mean that what we needed we got straight away. So whatever I ordered on our second day is just arriving today. It's day 5. So again, if people were coming into a city where they did not have their families in, how will that work? Or if their whole family is with them and doing self-isolation, how is that gonna work for them? So, be compassionate and be a bit more emphatic to others that are in self-isolation. It's not a simple thing. It actually requires you trying to figure out how to get the things that you need, and again, just try to lend a helping hand. So I'm really thankful that I came here and that my daughter's actually been here twice, 1.5 meters away from us, across the hall, like, I mean, outside our door, passing us water and food and groceries and what have you. And you know, finally we've got our orders coming in today. Really happy about Uber Eats. Haven't really ordered anything from them except for day one, because we basically had nothing day one. And yeah, it's again just a little bit more complicated. So if you have been following my recommendations about teas and things like that, know that if you're in self-isolation, you can now order. If you're self-isolated or if you're an elderly, you can order online through Woolworths, and you can get your herbs from them. You can get fresh herbs from the supermarkets and then make your tea. Hey Yvonne, how are you? How's the Gold Coast? Hey Ruth, kamusta na? So this isn't a live that's gonna say, oh, you know, that's it, we're doomed. I don't believe in that. It's just a matter of knowing what you're getting into. So for those of you that are flying into the country or flying into your respective countries, you will definitely be doing self-isolation because you've just been in an enclosed area in the plane with several other people who may or may not be carrying the virus. You would have also been at the airport, although the airport's quite emptier than usual. There were still a lot of people trying to travel. I mean, it wasn't like empty, so there were still people around you. So, I mean, when we first realized that we were going to be getting out of Jakarta, my biggest worry was our whole family was in self-isolation for more than 2.5 weeks. So we were clear. And then we were going to expose ourselves now to this closed environment in the plane, to the people in the airport. We were hearing people sniffling and coughing, you know. So when you're traveling, when you're getting out, protect yourself. You would have seen that the kids and I had masks. We had our disinfectant sprays with us. We sprayed the tray table on the plane. We sprayed the screen that we had to touch for the movie, the seats. And you know, after you use the toilets, you again disinfect your hands. You just have to take all the precautionary measures to make sure that everything's okay with you. And when you're in self-isolation and it's just you and there's no one else, and you have to be in common areas, as much as I know it's recommended that you stay away from common areas, the best thing that you can do is actually put a mask on, so that you don't infect anyone. Again, you always have to presume that because you've been exposed to others, you may be carrying the virus. I think that's the only way we can all protect ourselves. Hey Don, kamusta na? How are you? We arrived here, and you know, back in Jakarta, it was a struggle to try and get friends together for catch up. Sheila, you know, I love how you're sacrificing and not meeting up with friends so that the rest of your family stays safe. It's not difficult. It's not easy. It's actually very difficult to try to be antisocial during this period. But I commend people who actually do that and take on that sacrifice, because we have to do our share to make sure that we don't spread this virus, to make sure we put a stop to it, to make sure we educate everyone that it isn't just a simple flu virus. It actually kills. You know, flu virus doesn't usually kill you. I think just stay strong as well. Remember that when you're in self-isolation, it's also time for you to bond with family. If you're traveling with your family, if you're on your own, it might be a good time to just stop and think and assess life and what you've done and what you want to accomplish. Might be a good time to read a book or write a book, you know. So don't look at the bad side of things, although don't be, what's the term, oops, sorry, don't look at the bad side of things, but don't also assume that everything's going to be okay. Understanding that there are difficulties is also important so that you know how to address those difficulties. So yeah, if you're traveling back to your countries, make sure you get someone to put in everything that you need. The best way to do it, and this isn't how I did it clearly, is to look at what you have in your fridge and in your pantry and make sure they try and put that into where you're going into, because chances are what's in your fridge and in your pantry is what you always have. Having what you are normally used to eating, normally used to preparing is easier. Don't try and think, okay, well, you know what, I'm going to self-isolation, let me go all healthy right now. If you're moving into a new place, that might not be the simplest thing. If you are living and staying in your own home, then yes, do that, because now you can plan everything ahead and organize what you need to actually go into self-isolation and do a healthy program for yourself. But again, if you're moving to a new place, that might not be as simple as what it seems. Like, we moved into this apartment and there are not enough pots and pans. I had to have my daughter bring in my Nespresso machine, which is like, savior, although I'm having tea right now. But you need to have the comforts of home so that it feels like home. It's difficult to be in self-isolation without the things and without the comforts of home, especially if you've got kids, because the kids need to have the stuff that they're used to. Otherwise it's too difficult. Hey, Meti, apa kabar? Missing you, babe. Hey, Nishan, how are you? And so just know that you're not the only one going through it. Everyone, a lot of people are going through it. A lot of expats are going through it. And if you need to talk to someone, hey, give me a buzz. I'm here. It's business as usual for a lot of people. It's business as usual for me today. But again, it's a different way of running your business, because now I've got my kids here in this apartment. They can't get out. They can't do other things. So it's a little bit trickier. But you know what? It's fine. Look at the bright side. Look at what you've got. As I said yesterday, be grateful for what you've got. It's the best time to be grateful for everything that we have, what we've accomplished, what we've been given. Because if you're not grateful, it's easy to fall into the, oh my God, why is this happening to me? What are we looking forward to? It's so easy to be depressed. Let's not get depressed. Let's be happy about what's going on. Let's be happy that Melbourne isn't too cold today. I'm still wearing my jumper, but it's only because we're still acclimatizing. Yesterday was beautiful. I loved the weather yesterday and the day before. Today is good. It's not so bad. Just hoping for some sun here by the balcony. And again, give yourself a few days to get used to your new environment if you're self-isolating in a new place. And after those few days, you'll figure out how it is that you can go on and finish the rest of your, if it's 14 days or 28 days, what have you. So again, take it from someone who's been in self-isolation for 2.5 weeks, and then again for another 2 weeks this time around. You can do it. You can still get your business running. There's a lot of options online, whether you're doing work from home for a company or running your own business online. There's always a way. You just have to find it. You just have to be positive, and don't be too hard on yourself. We all have to be a little bit kinder to ourselves in this difficult time, because it's understanding how we can create a new routine based on this new thing that's happening to everyone else. Be more cautious when you're going back to the shops, whether or not you've gone through self-isolation. There's still some people who don't really understand the severity of the situation. I'm not saying it's a doom and gloom, but what I want to say is it's a serious matter. It's something that we all have to understand, and we have to all do our share. Throwing parties with everyone in it might not be the best idea. Having a small gathering is still great. Hey, May, sorry, missed your call. I'll call you back. And have beautiful kids, like my daughter, who's been giving us what we need here. We've been bugging her, and we've been saying, okay, you know what? We've had 5 days, so it's 9 more days. But we'll get over it, and get in touch with friends wherever you're going. Try and see there's someone who can help you out, so that just in case you're stuck with needing, let's just say, rice or veggies or something, you got someone that can actually send it to you. Water, so it's not easy, but it's not that complicated to make it work. Besides, got a great view. Again, not everyone has got a great view. You might have 4 walls around you, small windows, depending on the hotel that you are going to be staying in. We heard that some people were escorted to the Crown Casino. It's not. I need people to also understand. Some people are upset about what the government is spending to be able to put these people into these places. It actually isn't easy. Imagine yourself stuck in a hotel where you actually can't get out, can't get the normal services that you would in a hotel. It's not that simple. It's not that easy. And it's a difficult situation where it's easier if you were with your family. Unfortunately, with everything that's happening, it's not that simple to be with your family. So I've had my daughter across the on the other side of the door, 1.5 meters away from me. I can't even give her a hug. Saw my grandkids, just gave them a wave. Saw my in-laws, same thing. It's not simple. But again, at the end of 14 days, then I'm able to see them again. Maybe do a bit of fist bump, maybe no kissing, depending on where they've been. But if they've been on self-isolation like you have been, then you're all good. Right? So have a great day, everyone. And again, just remember, it's not doom and gloom. Get yourself sorted if you're doing self-isolation from home. I'd love to know who's done self-isolation. I know my friend Rosalyn's organized to do that. I think she was on day 1 or day 2 yesterday. And just a good time to actually reflect on how you've lived your life, what you're planning on doing. Again, as I said, write a book, read a book, or run your online business. But eat well. Don't binge on junk food. But at the same time, we've got ice cream. Thank you, May for the ice cream. So I've got ice cream to actually, just be our happy food. Don't be too hard on yourselves. Don't make it too complicated. Self-isolating isn't complicated. For those of you that work from home, you know how this isn't going to be too difficult. I mean, if you work from home like I do, we're used to being indoors. We do like the outdoors as well. Then now you don't have the opportunity. I think it's when the opportunity is taken away from you, or the option is taken away from you, that you start missing it. Don't look at it that way. Look at it as an opportunity to actually just stop and relax. The whole world is doing it, so why not you? Right? So enjoy your coffee or your tea. Enjoy your time to just think and relax, and we'll get over it. It'll soon be over, as long as everyone does their share, starts realizing that it all depends on all our individual actions together, that we can put an end to this. It's just one of those difficult challenges thrown at us, that we just have to get through. It's part of life. There's nothing simple. Life is simple, but not necessarily easy. Right? I love my neighbor there. She's got amazing herbs. I'm missing my herbs at home. But yeah, again, we can just order our fresh herbs from the grocery. Get the herbs that you need. I'm probably gonna start getting coriander, parsley, oregano, thyme, and just mixing them and creating my own tea. But right now, it's green tea. Have a great day. Let me know what you're doing for your self-isolation. Let me know if you've got any questions and if I can help you with anything. give me a buzz. Have a great day. And hello from Docklands.